I will be reading the scripture today from Luke 15, verses 8 to 10. That'll be followed by our hymn of preparation by John Tuttle, our person, Amazing Grace, and then the sermon by Pastor Floyd. So scripture first. Or imagine a woman who has 10 coins and loses one. Won't she light a lamp and scour the house, looking in every nook and cranny until she finds it? And when she finds it, you can be sure she'll call her friends and neighbors. Celebrate with me. I found my lost coin. Count on it. That's the kind of party God's angels throw every time one lost soul turns to God.
Thank you, John, for reminding us that grace still is here, and that this Sunday, amazing grace about Mother's Day. Now, I'm going to sound like thunder, move like lightning, and get you out here very quickly for Mother's Day's dinner. At least I'm going to try. I've been editing this sermon from the moment I wrote it. But in the moment, I might go back to the long version, but I'm trying to do the short version here. I'm trying to do the short version. I want you to look at this particular passage. In Bible studies, we're looking at parables this month, the parables of Jesus. And this Sunday, we're looking at a particular parable. Can you do me a favor? Go back a couple of slides and put the scriptures on there. Can you do that, bro? Thank you. And you'll see this parable. And it starts out, of course, this is the Good News Bible, but it starts out very clearly, imagine a woman. You're like, what's the context of that? The context of that is Jesus was trying to explain who God was and the relationship to God and to us. The relationship of how God is, and you got to understand what a shocking thing this is that within the context of that day, every time the word God was mentioned in the in the Hebrew scriptures, it was always a man. And Jesus like, imagine if God was a woman. What a shocking thing. And it probably is interesting that as shocking as this was, people apparently went with him. What literally followed before this is when Jesus was trying to explain the relationship of God's people to God was, imagine if God was a shepherd and was talking about the lost sheep. But in this case, he was like, imagine if God was a woman, and not any woman, but a woman that was born into a patriarchal, problematic system, a frustrated woman. A woman who was literally not celebrated for all of her gifts and all of her ability, of all of that she could be. Imagine if God was that woman. What an amazing thing. To imagine a frustrated God through a frustrated woman. I think when we think of God, that God is everything and all things to people, but God must be incredibly frustrated with us sometimes. Out of all I'm trying to do, all I'm trying to give to you, you're not getting it. And so he uses this frustrated woman, and he says, I'll imagine her. And you got to remember, this is in the context of this time period. And he says, and imagine a woman who's lost the coin, and not just any coin. Every scholar believes that we're talking about the endowment. Every scholar believes that we're not talking about a coin that is any coin, but that every woman of that time period, before she got married and before she went into relationship, she got an endowment. She got an endowment, and the endowment was simply with a promise. Take care of the treasure for the next generation. Now, I want you to know that's a heavy burden that women have borne for a long time. And for a long time, I have always said, the burden on men and women are the same. That's a lie. Anybody that has seen a mother and daughter, anybody that's been in a family, know that daughters have a different burden. Not because they're different people, but because the expectation is different on them. Somehow, they're given the burden, take care of this treasure. Now you're looking going, but what about my brother here, What about this knucklehead? Why didn't he get all of that? I have no idea. But that's the context of this verse, is that because men were not given endowments, only women were. And this woman only had 10, which means she was not rich. She wasn't poor, but she wasn't rich. And she's given an endowment. Protect it, keep it, give it to the next generation. And she says that's something that is exclusively her job. What is really interesting about that particular thing is you understand that whatever she's given already has value before she puts her hand on it. That they cannot lose her value, because the value is that literally it is something that's precious. Regardless of whether it becomes stained, regardless of how big it is, it's precious because generations have put their hands on it. Sweet Honey in the Rock is a if you've not heard their music, you should hear their music. They have a famous line. They say, children don't come to you, they come through you. That the gift of children is not just the gift of what you met. They're not yours, because even if you think they're yours, about 14, they start telling you they're not yours, if you know what I'm saying, right? At some point, and our children are looking like, see, Mom, Dad, don't worry, you have your day coming too. Right now, well, you're going to find out those people that you have fed, that you've diapered, that you love, that you were right most of the time, going to look at you in your eyes and say, you can't tell me what to do, because, quite frankly, they come through you. But they're still the treasure. And they will never understand until they get the treasure what it means to be given them. And this woman was given this great treasure. She was given this thing, and it was intrinsically hers. And she held on to it. And what a burden it is. And I want to recognize for every sister in the room, it is a glorious burden. But it is a burden. Y'all, look at me like I don't want to talk about, oh no, mother is a great thing. Yeah, it is until, until you really have to deal with it. You got to deal with children, and then you got to deal with men. We are a burden sometimes. All of this, and we think that we're helping with the treasure, and sometimes we're not doing it as well as we thought. But she's been socialized. These are yours. And no matter what, take care of the precious gift that comes through you. And then the drama of the text happens. She loses the coin. There's nothing more painful when a coin and something that's precious is lost. Now around here, people have lost stuff. They have lost cell phones. They have lost wedding rings. Yesterday, somebody right now, even in the back, were waiting. They lost their driver's license. But there's nothing more precious than to have someone you love and seem to be lost. No one will understand that. They just don't get it. Because the thing that's lost doesn't know it's lost. Y'all missed that, right? That's what really is frustrating, because you know they're lost. You know that somehow they're not on the path. You know that this precious thing of yours is not the place it ought to be, but the thing itself doesn't know it. Lost children don't know they're lost. And that's what's hard about it. Because they're your treasure. They were given to you from the last generation, and you know, but they don't know they're lost. They don't know. So what's really powerful is, notice the text. She begins to look for this lost thing, because it will never know it's lost until it's found. Now, the children were happy with me when I told them, remember, they're going to be their own selves. They ain't going to be happy with this one right now. Because there may be people in here that think, I don't know what mom and dad are talking about. I'm doing okay. You may not know you're lost. You may not know that because they have been here a few more days, and they have seen a few more things, and they've watched you, they may know you're lost. And even though you don't feel you're lost, just consider this crazy notion that they might be right. I know it's a strange thing. The mom might be right. The dad might be right. But she does not look and ask the coin. She just looks for it and says, I've got to find it. Now here is where it's fun for me. Here is where it is interesting for me, because the culture of that time is more like the African American culture than like the European culture. So every time someone preaches the text, it says, and then she swept the house looking for the coin. Here's the glorious thing. We know from the Hebraic tradition that women did not do things alone. In fact, when it became time for their time of month, they would go to a red tent, and they all experienced that together. So they never did that alone. And anytime they were in trouble, they called the aunties. They called other women around. My coin is lost. Can you imagine the other women go, girl, what? You done lost your coin? Oh, we got to find that. Oh, you have lost what? You have lost the coin. Your mama's coin, their grandmama coin, your great grandmama. They done lost that. You know about it, when grandmama gave it to great grandmama, it was only one coin. They got it up to 10 coins, and now you got it down to 9. No, girl, we got to find that coin. Oh, y'all are missing this thing. It's a good thing. I have to tell you right now, for women who did not bear children, you might be in the auntie crowd. You may be being called in to help somebody, because sometimes some sisters can't do it alone. In fact, sisters can't do it alone and shouldn't be doing it alone. There ought to be some aunties around you to help you. There ought to be somebody there when you're having a bad day saying, let me take this child before you kill it. Okay, I know y'all are loving. No, y'all, you know, some days, praise God. Somebody there to love, somebody there to be there with it, who understands your burden. It's not that brothers don't understand. Well, no, we don't understand you. But let's not lie. We really don't. We think we got it. We don't. But when a sister's like, I know what you're saying. We right here. Your child is lost. Your child's in trouble. The aunties come and help her. And sometimes it's not just that they're helping her. Sometimes it's not in this text. And I'm going to always let you know when it's not in this text. It's not in the text, but sometimes it's because there's something wrong and the person, the mother themselves, are overwhelmed and can't do it. Sometimes there are some mothers that literally can't do it, but that doesn't mean that the aunties don't come and help her anyway. I am amazed in America that we blame women all the time for the life and the things that come at them that make it hard. How about instead of blaming folk, we help folk? How about instead of looking at people and say what you should have done, we come and help them? How about it we stop looking at folks and talk about defective mothers and just say mothers that are growing into the role, and until they grow, in the Bible, there are so many women who take the role and help other women. There's Ruth and Naomi. There's so many women. So if you're here today, you're like, but I didn't bear a child, you too can celebrate Mother's Day. It's one of the aunties, so they all came. They all came. I mean, boy, you have no idea. I would have fun preaching that, but we don't have time. But I'm going to tell you right now, they all come, and they do this thing that's really interesting. And this is in the text. This is in the text. Can you imagine a house full of women cleaning a house, trying to find a coin? You have never seen a woman on a mission when she's trying to clean a house because she's looking for something. Because something that's precious is lost. Everybody might have get out of her way because she's going to find that thing. Or she's going to at least know that she did her very best. And for most part, not all the part, we're not very helpful in that because we don't see stuff that y'all see. Oh, y'all looking at me? When's the last time you had a man clean a bathroom and you walk in there and go, what did they do? They're literally the details and everything that's there. They're all whole. Aunties are there looking for a lost. And while they're looking, I know they must be encouraging her. Don't worry, girl, we'll find it. Don't worry. And she's feeling guilty. You ever felt there's some mothers who come to Mother's Day and they feel so guilty because they think their child is lost because of something they didn't do? That is our job to say, Auntie, don't worry about it. We'll still work with you. We don't care how they got lost. We don't care if you dropped it. We don't care if you misplaced it. We don't care if they're not. We don't care. All we care is that we find it. I've got good news for every mother in here. You don't need to beat yourself up for what you don't do or what you didn't do. Just understand that we're going to help you find the child. We're going to help you find the treasure. We're going to help you find whatever is missing, because that's the job of the church, is to help you find it, not judge it. I do not understand how people judge folk who drop stuff and have complicated lives, as if they haven't dropped something and been complicated themselves. But I have to move on, because here's the fun part of the text for me. Because my imagination, I did not understand that until you go to Israel and you go to the place that this is supposedly happening. Remember, it really didn't happen. It's just a parable. But you know how folk get all that literal stuff. But anyway, but you go to a place that they must have been referencing to. And then you realize, oh, see, I hope you get this. You realize it's a dirt floor. This woman is sweeping a dirt floor. This woman is trying to dust a house full of dirt. This woman is, and all these women are actually stirring up stuff in order to find something. First time I realized that visual, I really didn't understand the perseverance that they had to have. What Jesus was trying to say, God will persevere through all the messes in your life. God will persevere through all the stuff that's going on. Because remember, he's saying, this woman is like God. Your dirt, your mess does not discourage God. Oh, that's good news. And it did not discourage your mom. Now, see, I got to be honest here. Just look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about, but some folk are crying over their mama because what they took their mama through. You know what I'm saying? Don't confess. But some of the reason that we're crying is because we now are remembering the mess that we made, the way we got lost, and that woman never gave up. She just kept on digging. She and the aunties prayed you through. She and the aunties was there with whatever. She and the aunties, every time you made a bad choice, they were there. Every time you needed them, they were there. And you got mad, but they kept on digging because they were trying to find the treasure of their lives. If you are a child that's in trouble right now, man, you better go and give it because we ain't going to stop until we find you. So she looked through the house, through the dust cloud, through everything that was happening, and she kept on and persisted until she found the lost coin. Because you know what? Even when it was lost, it was still precious. I need somebody to understand that today. If you're going through and alcoholism, and you know, this is a day where people think of all the disappointments and all the ways that they've disappointed people in their lives, and the ways that things didn't go well, and especially mama. That's why I was at somebody crying. I just want you to know, even in your worst hour, you were still precious. Even when you were lost, you were still somebody, you just didn't know it. Even when you were making mistakes, and even when you were acting a fool, as some of the older people would say, they didn't think you were a fool, you were just acting a fool. They never called you a fool, they said acting a fool. Because they knew the treasure you were. That even when you're lost, you are still precious. And that is why we celebrate this thing. That's why we lay these roses on the altar, because we said, here's somebody who never lost sight on who I was. Never did. And at the moment you thought it was about them, it was never about them. It's about you. Because in your narcissism, you were like, oh, mama just wanted to do that because she's embarrassed. No, she's not embarrassed. She's hopeful that you will rise up and remember who you are. That you will stand and understand that within you are generations that came through whatever you're going through. Her tears were not the tears of resignation. They were the tears of hope. And when she found the coin, see, this is why, like I said, I love the African American culture, because when you hear other preachers preach, especially of a certain persuasion, they all say, why is there a party at the end? There wasn't a party at the end. The sisters were already there. They said, glory, you ever had a party when the sisters did what they supposed to do? Boy, they go out there and you ain't seen a party. You think you frat guys can party. You can't party. like mothers who have found their children. You can't party like sisters who have stood up and said, I got him back. I got her back. Party! And that's why we keep on going. I've got news for those who are on Mother's Day right now, who are worrying about their children, who are worrying about this moment, who are worrying about somebody they cared for. I got good news for aunties. Guess what? There's a party in your future. Now, guess what? God is still faithful. Remember the beginning of this text is all about this is how God is. If God doesn't give up on somebody, you don't give up on somebody. And it doesn't matter what you have to go through. Doesn't matter how weird it gets. Doesn't matter how much stuff gets in the atmosphere. Know that a party is in your future. There is an assurance. A blessed assurance. See, I can't walk because I don't have all the stuff to do. There is an assurance. Y'all didn't know I could preach in one spot, did you? Some of y'all are just shocked by this. But I tell you, this is how I keep it short, because if I was walking, this could take a while. But anyway, so I will tell you right now. You'll see that song. Aren't we going to sing Blessed Assurance? Which one are we going to sing, right? Right. The reason that we're going to sing Blessed Assurance is because I don't want you to get here and hope as a mother or as a child that you can get together. I want you to understand it's a sure thing that God's going to move. It's a sure thing that your situation is not eternal. It's a sure thing that the prayers that you prayed are making a difference. It's a sure thing that your crazy child, of which I have been one, and still am, that those children that you think are crazy, God's still working on them. So I ask you to be what this text says, to be that faithful understanding of Jesus that says, I got you. I got you, mama. I got you. And if the men are offended that I haven't mentioned this morning, don't worry, Father's Day is coming, and we might mention you in the, whatever. But right now, this is an assuring word. The coin will be found. And if there are those who have broken relationships right now with your mothers, it is an assuring word that God will find you too. And we'll put you back together again. Because even if she's hurt and can't be looking for you, the aunties of this church and the aunties of the faith are looking. You are not alone. You are loved. You are cared for. Happy Mother's Day.